Good morning and happy Friday. As I check my volume settings real quick. Another Friday, another set of live sprints. How are you this morning? I promise I've taken my allergy medications to be less sniffly during this, but I feel extremely sniffly today. And this is the first week that I walked downstairs and I was like, it's a lot brighter than it usually is when I start my sprints. I was like, do I need to turn on the light? It's so bright already. So that's exciting. Daylight is returning. Spring is coming. Yeah. Sarah, good morning. I'm finishing up my plotting course today. Oh, that sounds fun. I am also plotting today. I'm going to be looking at trying to flesh out my synopsis, and then I'm going to be writing short synopses from the points of view of a couple of characters, which should help me enrich the story overall. But it's a step I always dread. I don't know why. But yeah. I mentioned last time we're doing shorter sprints today. We're doing 10-minute sprints instead of the 25. Alternating short breaks and long breaks in between these 10-minute sprints. For anyone here who's drafting, I feel like short sprints are really, really good for drafting, or at least for me. It's just straight up type. For more thinking involved tasks like plotting, which I'm doing today, I don't know if it's actually better, but we're giving it a shot this morning. It should be good. Oh. Sarah, good morning. This morning, I think I'm going to work on getting the details down for a new idea that's been bouncing around in my head for the past week. Oh, I love it. I've been sometimes finding myself I'm laying in bed and then I just start the ideas that percolate. On the one hand, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'll ever get to write that. And then on the other hand, it's but I like feeling like my creativity is kind of waking up. I'm having ideas more than I used to. And that's exciting. Tanya, happy Friday, beloveds. Oh, happy Friday to you. Welcome. Happy to have you here. And then tomorrow, because we're in a new month already, tomorrow's Double Down Day, guys. So I am sprinting during this same time slot tomorrow. I don't know if Renee has updated the Google Calendar yet, but there will be sprints sort of all day for anyone who's up for using tomorrow to try and double your normal daily progress. Kat has the zoomies and he is making his way over here. I think he's about to make an appearance. But yes, Double Down Day tomorrow. I will kick us off in this time slot. And then I think usually on Double Down Day, it's 7 to 9. And then right after me, there's another set of sprints. And then sometime there usually are breaks during between the rest of the sprint sessions. But I expect the schedule will go up in the Facebook group today, and the Google Calendar will also be updated today. Georgia, hello. Tanya says, yay, I made it a writing retreat weekend for myself. Oh my God, I love that so much. My husband's company is getting together for axe throwing tomorrow. So I'll be doing that. And then I got my nails done last weekend, but I don't really like them. And then I'm like, okay, so I've got a thing March 20th. This is going to be so fun and interesting for you guys. I'm sure of it. On March 27th, I want my nails to look pretty good. But the whole week before that, from the 18th through the 26th, I'm snowboarding. Well, not all of those days. There are travel days and stuff. But so if I get them done on the 17th, then they'll only be a week and a half old on the 27th, and they'll look good. So cool, we got a plan, but the 17th is 2 weeks away. And so the nails that I don't really like will be 3 weeks. And so I'm well, I only got them done a week ago, but if I get them done again this weekend, Then I can wait 2 weeks and then. So I know that's super fun and interesting for you guys, but like basically I left the salon and I was like, I don't like the choices I made. And then I immediately was like, math. How many weeks if I do this and then if I do this? um, yeah. I don't know. It's like trying to figure out hair wash day around workouts. Although I don't know, try as I might, I'm like a wash the hair every time I take a shower person. So because I know that was so interesting for you, I'm gonna pull up the timer. Let's see, share a screen. Here we go. Let's see. All right. So I mentioned it at the start. I'll say it again. We are doing short sprints today. We're just giving it a try. We may do them again tomorrow morning for Double Down Day, just because I know it'll be something different than what the other admins are doing. Give you a little more variety in your day. But we are doing 10-minute sprints. We're not doing the 5-minute breaks in between everyone. We're doing a quick 2-minute break in between. And then after 2 of them, so that'll be like 22 minutes in, then we're doing a 5-minute break. So I hope that makes sense. And yeah. Every single time I start sprints, no matter how long I host sprints, I'm like, there's gonna be announcements. There's stuff I'm gonna have to say, and then I'm like, and then there's nothing. And it's like, well, yeah, you guys know how to work during a timer. Anyway, I'm gonna start the timer for our first 10-minute sprint. We'll have a 2-minute break after, and then another 10-minute sprint, and then we'll have a longer chit chat break. Whatever you are working on during these 10 minutes, I wish you the best of luck, and I will see you in 10. All right, there's our first mini sprint, and so it's our first mini break. Just a quick 2 minutes to sort of refresh, regroup before we dive right back in. Let me know how that one went for you. I really didn't want to look at my manuscript, but I was looking at it and starting to sort of piece together some of the big holes that I just need to figure out how to stitch together, make it make sense, make it interesting. So, yes, not bad, not bad. And then I quickly played the Wordle as well. So that is still, and every morning, it's part of my morning routine still, all of this time later. Excuse me. How'd your first sprint go? Would love to know what you're working on this morning. If you're drafting, if you're plotting like me. I know Sarah Carroll is finishing up her plotting course today, which sounds exciting. I also have a journal coming in the mail today, and so I'm like, mailman? Sarah made coffee, checked Facebook. Not interesting. It's an important, that's what I'm going to say, important part of getting started. Jessica, hey, jumping in. Good morning. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Our first mini break is about to come to an end, and then we will be starting our second mini sprint before we have our regular 5-minute break after that. Yeah, I always think there's like big announcements every single time. Nope, it's just time to do it again for 10 minutes. You guys know the drill by now. All right, time for our second half of our first set. You got this. All right. That was our second 10-minute sprint, which marks the end of our first little set of 2 mini sprints. So yes, we got 4 sets. We have 3 left. 6 mini sprints left. I sort of lost that one. I don't know. I was looking at my phone because I needed to cancel a few meetings that ended up happening yesterday. Like totally normal work related stuff of like, oh, let me just clean up my calendar really quick and respond to this. And then I was looking at Tumblr. So the dangers of picking up the phone. I know like Becca Syme talks about like don't pick up your phone or don't look at social media first. And I totally get it because like once I do, it absolutely gets me like wanting more of that. And I do think it stifles my creativity a bit. So that's, I guess, another reason why I like to do these sprints, even though I'm tired every time and I'm like, getting out of bed, is if I do them at 7, I'm unlikely to have looked at my phone before, unless I do it during. But I do think that even though I have a hard time like speaking and feeling awake, I do think the creativity and the words actually flow better when I'm working on creative projects first thing. Tanya says it goes quick. I keep my phone away from me. That's why I don't connect in the chat. Yeah, no, I get it. When I attend sprints, I don't necessarily do much in the chat because I get up and stretch during the breaks sometimes. Or like, yeah, I'm just trying to keep my focus on my work. So I get it. Makes complete sense. Yeah. I was like, I'm going to stretch every day in March. And that's March 3rd. So fail. But I am trying to stretch more just because, like, noticing that my body feels it more than it used to if I exercise and don't stretch. Jessica, I'm editing and rewriting, but I don't track my words till the end of the chapter. I'm about a third of the way through. I hope you didn't finish this morning. Nice. Well, if you're a third of the way through and we're only a quarter of the way through our sprints, then you're more than on track. Tammy, good morning. Happy Fri-YAY. Finally here. Happy to have you. Good morning. Good morning. Got my coffee, ready to tackle this chapter. I love it. Yes, we are coming close to the end of our first break here. Jessica says, yay! Yes. Our first longer break here, instead of 25-minute sprints, we're doing mini sprints. So we got 10 minutes and then a quick break and then 10 minutes and then our longer break. As a recap for anyone joining us now or more recently. So, yes. But perhaps I will make coffee during this next sprint. That's another thing. When I attend sprints, I can use the breaks to do like my things. So I can like be productive during the sprint and then go like make coffee during the breaks. When I'm hosting, any unproductive nonsense has to happen during the sprint because I'm here during the breaks, chit-chatting. Yeah. Every time I look outside, I see that the buds on our tree are just a little more open, and I mentioned this at the beginning, it's so much lighter this morning than it has been in previous weeks that I'm just like, spring is really happening. I'm very excited. I haven't checked the weather here for this weekend. I feel like it could either be like high of 45 or it could be like it's gonna be in the 70s and you're gonna want to wear a bathing suit. So I don't know what it's supposed to be. We are supposed to do some yard work tomorrow, mulching. So we did yard work last weekend and I got really excited because yard work is always Ken's thing. I don't do yard work. Growing up, my dad was like, it's more efficient to just do it myself. And I'm like, I get it, except that if I had been inefficient and then learned, like eventually I would have been able to help. But anyway, so like I'm very new to yard work. I don't really do it. And I was like raking up leaves. But I think I was like, I don't know. So I was in a wrist brace at the beginning of this week, and I like rubbed all the skin off part of my thumb raking. But I did have fun. Um, and so, yeah, so we took care of leaves and pulled weeds and like dead stalks of flowering plants from last year. And so mulching is tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. Tammy says our weather's like that too. I know it's like that a lot of places, but everyone is like, where I live specifically, the weather is very silly. And it's, I don't know. I think it's funny. Okay, cool. We are on to our second set of 2 mini sprints. So we'll have 10 minutes and then a quick 2 minute break and then another 10 minutes before our next long break. Whatever you are working on during these 10 minutes, I wish you the best of luck and I believe in you, and I'll see you in 10. All right. That was the first sprint of set number 2. Nope. I was like, we're halfway. No. We have one more mini sprint in this set. So this is a quick break. I definitely was sort of like brainstorming out loud mostly that sprint. So if you saw me sitting here like petting the cat, talking, I was trying to figure out suspects and motives and the twists and turns of the story. So that's what was going on there. And then I might, during the next mini sprint, go grab some paper because I like to have a combination of plotting. My plotting's all over the place, and it's a mix of like handwritten stuff with lines everywhere, and then stuff on the computer. Tammy has the same breed of cat as mine. Oh, yes. Oh, that makes me happy because I love him so much. Jessica says, our neighborhood has a lot of Bradford pear trees and they're blooming now. That might be what we have because, they're gorgeous for about a week, but the blooms smell awful. My son calls them fish flowers. Whatever we have also, it smells bad when it blooms, but it's not quite blooming yet. It's like in preparation. Sorry, I play with my dog that sprint. Clearly, this is not my most productive morning. That's fine. Yeah. I don't feel very productive when I sit here and I'm like, I'm petting Theo and I'm like just kind of talking out loud, trying to like thinking out loud. I mean, like just kind of talking to myself, brainstorming, but it's all part of the process. Yeah, I mean, I think they're really pretty, but they do smell. Getting some housework finished so I can relax and continue with the world building, fleshing out to my fantasy work in progress. I have some free writing around it, but the world needs some work. Love it. All right, that was a quick break, and we're back to a 10-minute mini sprint. May it be productive or whatever it is that you need this morning, and I will see you in 10 minutes. And there you have it. That was the end of our second set of 2 mini sprints. Halfway through our morning together, I'm like getting resituated because I was standing up having my breakfast because the cat is insufferable if I try and eat it sitting down. Breakfast specifically, like lunch and dinner, I can sit and eat in peace, but like breakfast, he's like, I would like some of your oatmeal. And I'm like, you may not have it. So I feel a little bit flustered. I was like, so I make overnight oats in a little bottle thing. And so I like, it's, I don't know, somewhere between like drinking and eating, like drinking, but you have to chew it. I don't know, sounds kind of gross. I really like it though. So I'm standing there drinking my oats, and the cat is like, I would like some of that. I like lost the point of the story. I think the point was that I just barely finished in time. So I'm like trying to get together, and I'm like, I hope I don't have oats in my teeth. Tammy says, I've never had overnight oats. I want to try it one day. I used to make them with less milk. So they were more, I don't know, regular oatmeal consistency. And I really liked them. I would make them like oats, milk, or we don't usually have dairy milk in the house. We actually usually have oat milk. So oats and oat milk, brown sugar. And then I would add like cocoa powder and put some like frozen cherries in it to make like chocolate cherry overnight oats. But I've been buying pre-flavored ones. And then I find their flavorings to be strong enough that like I have to make it drinkable. Like a significant amount of milk to make the overall, but I really like them. Yeah. And I also went and got my lap board and some paper and a pen, so that for as we move into our second half of the morning, I really wanted to do some paper and pen brainstorming and stuff. So that'll be nice instead of like just sitting here talking to myself, which I do also when I drive, especially if I'm in this phase of plotting and like really trying to like figure out how everything fits together. When I drive, I definitely talk to myself about the story. But this morning I was like, okay, we've done some typing, we've done some talking. Now let's do some like jotting and drawing lines and connecting everything. And this phase, man, I don't know how many of you are plotters, but it feels like everything is like so far apart and nothing makes any sense. And then at the very end, it's like whoop, cool. It like happens so fast after just like feeling like I'm making no progress for so long. But oh wow, that's part of my process, and it's worked so far. My mother-in-law was on the phone with my husband the other day, and she's like, tell Katie, da da da. And then he's like, she's here, you can just tell her. She's like, pass the phone me over to her. And so I'm like, hey. She's like, I was talking to my friend Dorothy, and I read your books, and I knew Dorothy read your books, but I didn't know. Dorothy said, and then named like several other people from their town that I don't know. It's like, Dorothy said, so and such and such, they also read your books. And all of us, we think that they got better, every one of them. You know, I was so proud of you from the very beginning, but book 2 was even better, and then book 3. And so now I'm like, the pressure for this one to be even better. But it was very sweet. But I am like, it has to be better than everything else. Oh, man. But I don't know. I'm like, oh, I love the process. And I'm like, I feel like I'm like every time I'm planning the book, I'm like, I feel like there's no way this is going to come together. It's not going to make any sense. And then it does, but it's very scary every time. Yeah, it was really sweet. Tammy, 50% plotter, 50% pantser. I can't plot the whole book at one time with all the chapters. I don't see how people do it, but props to them. I can't write without plotting all of it because I'm like, well, what if I just don't realize that something's gonna happen? I don't know. Anxiety mostly. All right. We are halfway through our morning together. We have 2 more sets of 2 mini sprints each, and we're going to dive right in. Whatever you are working on, however your morning is going, I'm sending you the best vibes, wishing you good luck, and I'll see you in 10 minutes. All right. There we have it. I'm using one of these like four color pins for my um super like like my little doodles of, and this is so and so, and anyway, obviously the plotting is going so great. Jessica says, I go back and forth on plotting or not. I read a lot of short reads, and sometimes I don't do much plotting on those, but rather work from a loose outline. Other times I plot everything. For my novels, however, I plot it all. I lose details if I don't. Yeah. I've definitely, like, on the one hand, I want the creative process, like, I want there to be room for like great ideas to spring forth and be added into the book. On the other hand, it's like to know what twists are coming, or like to know, I I don't know, I feel more comfortable and I can like plant little seeds, um and then I don't have to do as much editing, uh which is nice. Yeah. I feel like I'm pretty young in my career, and I do think that my process will likely change over the coming years. But right now I'm pretty firmly a plotter for my books. But yes, so this is only a mini break, and we are about to have another 10-minute mini sprint before our longer break. So short little reset here, a little stretch, a little like of the brain before we dive right back in. And yeah, I think my next mini sprint, I'm going to be reading. I'm going to be looking for some stories on art forgery and various thieves and criminals for inspiration. So research, research slash just reading really interesting things on the internet. All right, 10 minutes on the clock. I believe in you. You can do it, and let's go. All right. That brings us to another 5-minute break. That's the end of our third set of mini sprints. We have one more set of 2 10-minute sprints before we close out for the morning. Sarah says, I'm plotting more in the hopes that I'll be able to finish projects faster. I also find that, well, it's a bit different now that I actually publish books, but plotting means that I'll finish because it means that I'm not going to peter out because I don't know what happens. Like I know what happens, so it makes it a lot more likely that I actually finish projects. Jessica, I don't always stick 100% to the plot though. Yes, I can see that of like, okay, I've plotted this whole thing out and now I've got better ideas, but like at least like I had sort of this plan and I don't have to stick to it. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. That sprint, yeah, I pulled up a handful of articles that I'm really excited to read as sort of research and inspiration for this story. Some books I end up doing quite a lot of like reading of real life stories that are sort of like related in some way. But it's been a couple of books since I had to do much research. So, but luckily it's a subject I'm interested in because that's why I decided to write the book this way. Let's see. Well, yeah, so tomorrow's Double Down Day. I did see that Renee has posted the schedule in the Facebook group. So you can go check that out for all of your exciting Double Down Day dreams to make tomorrow a productive Saturday. Yeah. I also looked it up, and daylight savings time starts. I mean, I know that it's different in different parts of the world, and even within the United States, like Arizona doesn't do daylight savings time or something like that. I'm not sure, but for me and for most of the U.S., daylight savings time starts in like a week and a half. I think it's on March 12th. So yeah, that would be not this weekend, but the next. So in some ways I'm like, that's exciting. And then I'm like, but what used to be 7 a.m. is now 8. 6 is the new 7, and it's gonna be dark again until the sunrise moves earlier. So that first Friday, at least it starts on a Sunday. And so by the time I have my Friday sprints, I will have had most of a week to get used to the time change. So that's good. If I had sprints at 7 a.m. on a Sunday, I think on daylight savings time day, I would have to like change the time and be like, today we're doing it different. Yeah, I feel like the spring one, I'm always like, it does make it harder to get up in the morning. But the fall one really messes with me because I'm like, it's 4 p.m., but I think I should be in bed. But yep. So that's coming. Summer's almost here for those of us in the northern hemisphere. Like warmth and sunlight are they're not too far away. Although I did look at the weather and it's like fairly blah for the next week. I mean, like some sunny days, but it's not going to get to be like super warm. But it's also not going to be like, boom, it's freezing. It's like pretty steady, which I think is it feels like it's been like really jerking us around. So I don't know. So it should be decent weather for yard work on Sunday, which is nice, but I was hoping it was going to be like a random summer day in the middle of March, in the beginning of March. It's not even the middle of March yet. Yeah, our break is coming to an end here, and we have 2 more short 10-minute sprints together this morning before we close out. I hope that these sprints have been useful and productive. I think I'll do the same time settings tomorrow for double down day, and then we'll see next week what I'm feeling. Okay. Back to productivity time here for this next majority of a half hour. So whatever it is that you're working on, once again, I wish you the best of luck. 10 minutes on the clock, and let's do it. quick break time. That was 10 minutes of focused work or whatever it is you're doing this morning. We have a very quick break here before our final 10-minute stretch of the morning. It's time for that last little push. Like however the rest of the morning has been going. It's our last 10 minutes to just make some headway, finish strong. Finish strong as we start the morning. I like doing Friday sprints specifically because it lets me feel like I'm finishing the week strong. It's like a I can look at it either way as a finish strong type of opportunity or a start strong because since I have a full-time job, the weekends are where it's like, oh, I could focus on my writing. And so Friday it's like, oh, I did some stuff during the week, but then it's also like launching into the weekend with a bit of a good, I don't know, good momentum. I think some of you guys like Fridays for the same reason, like the Friday sprints. But tomorrow morning will be good. That'll be like definitely starting the weekend out really strong, and then with sprints all day long for double down day. It's like opportunity after opportunity to really nail it, which is good. I'm looking forward to working with community for most of the day tomorrow. So, as our little break concludes, we are going to go into our final 10 minutes. Last little push here. I believe in you. I know you can do it. And I will see you in 10 minutes. Good luck. All right. That closes out our final sprint of the morning. How did it go? How was your morning as a whole? I read part of an article of that sprint that like got some wheels turning, but it also sort of crushed part of what I had in mind for a subplot. But it's okay. Crushed ideas result in they fertilize the ground for new ideas. We'll say that. So I would say on the whole it was good. And sort of like set my brain in motion for the rest of the day. I just got a message. My mom is visiting my brother. She's got work in his city, and so I'm getting pictures of I'm the only one not there. Well, I hope that the sprints this morning were helpful to you and enjoyable. I always want to hit that balance of it's a fun, good way to spend the morning, but also it sets you up for success in the rest of your day and your week and in general. Jessica, I didn't finish the chapter I'm revising, but I'm close. I did a quick calculation. I think I added about 800 words. Amazing. Tanya, thank you. I'm so glad that you made it. Jessica, thanks for the sprints. I enjoyed the short ones. You are so welcome. We'll do them again tomorrow. Yes. See you guys tomorrow for Double Down Day. Let me check really quick, but I believe that Jenna is sprinting tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. Yes, 7 to 10. So 3 hours of sprints. And then the Google Calendar is updated and the schedule for tomorrow is posted in the Facebook group. So just looking real quick, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sessions of sprints tomorrow for Double Down Day. So yes, thank you guys all for coming to spend your Friday morning with me. I will see you tomorrow for Double Down Day and next Friday for our Friday morning sprints. Have a lovely, lovely day, and I'll see you next time.